Several Serb-majority districts are holding a referendum that could remove ethnic Albanian mayors from power. They took office last year amidst violent scenes after the previous Serb mayors resigned. Al Jazeera's Avni Ahmetaj reports from Kosovo's capital, Pristina.
Residents of 4 Serb-majority municipalities in north of Kosovo have been called to cast their votes in a referendum to remove Albanian mayors that were elected in April last year on a very small turnout of only 4% following Serbs' boycott of local elections. Boycott last year led to violence that erupted between the police and local Serbs who were attempting to stop the new mayors from entering municipal buildings. The violence in the north last year led then to tensions between old foes Kosovo and Serbia, as Serbia does not recognize Kosovo's independence and considers it as part of its territory. A year has passed since those tensions occurred, and today some 46,000 voters in the north of Kosovo have a chance to vote in a referendum that could eventually lead to snap elections in those 4 municipalities. However, the Serbian parties, backed up by Serbia, have once again called for a boycott and blamed Kosovo Prime Minister Albin Kurti for doing, as they said, everything he could for the vote to fail. Now, Kosovo Prime Minister has rejected the accusations and called for citizens in the north to vote if they want to remove mayors from office. Now, for that to succeed, 50% of the overall number of voters is needed to vote in favor.
Let's take a closer look at the history that brought the region to this point. Well, following the breakup of the former Yugoslavia in the early 1990s, the Kosovo War and the NATO intervention saw Kosovo declare independence from Serbia in 2008. Serbia and its ally Russia did not recognize that independence. The US, many other countries, did. The majority of Kosovo's population are ethnic Albanians, but Serb-dominated areas in the north have a high level of autonomy. We'll get more on this now with Shpend Kursani. He's a professor and researcher at the University of Tartu. He joins us now from there. Good to have you with us. So first of all, do you think this referendum is going to pass?
No. From the last numbers, the most recent ones I checked, it's not going to pass because the voter turnout was as low as it could be. And I would say this is unsurprisingly. The last I checked, I would say there were more election or referendum observers than voters. So I do not think this will pass.
And is that because of the calls for boycotts from the ethnic Serb community?
No, the ethnic Serb community, in fact, did not want to boycott. They showed that they wanted to participate. However, this was not a preference of Serbia, and therefore Serbia called through its political party in Kosovo, the Serbian list, called on the local Serbs to boycott the referendum.
Yes, that was what I was referring to, the Srpska list call for boycott. If that is in fact the case, then where does that leave the prospects of another election? Does that mean there will be no further elections?
No, there can. If this referendum, I would say exceptional referendum fails, then by law there could be no additional referendum within 1 year. So pretty much we are going to continue with the current situation with the Albanian mayors leading the non-Serb mayors leading the 4 Serb majority municipalities in the north. So I do not think the situation for another year will change. What Serbia wants, however, is to find a non-institutional and non-legal way for the current mayors to be replaced. So the current Prime Minister of Kosovo, or the government, do not accept any non-institutional way, meaning to simply oust the mayors in a despotic fashion. The current government of Kosovo does not seem to be ready to do that.
Even if they're not ousted, is there any possibility that these 4 mayors might step down of their own accord?
Yes, there is a possibility. If they actually resign themselves, then the situation would, then the new elections would be called. However, it is up to them whether they want to resign from their posts. So basically, I think also the international community expects that the current government of Kosovo to apply some pressure on these mayors to resign. However, given that they were legally elected, although I think from the number of votes they took, their legitimacy is questionable, but legally they took up those posts. Therefore, it is up to them to decide whether to resign.
Shpend, let's put everything into context. This is part of really a bigger picture and a bigger question about Kosovo's status and its relationship with Serbia. And that's an issue that needs really talks to resolve, right? Will talks resume between Pristina and Belgrade anytime soon to address that issue?
Talks are ongoing already on different matters. I'm sure there will be talks probably also about this issue, though it would be difficult to know whether there could be an agreement on this matter. I think the issue of the mayors in the north is not the main problem, what's happening in that part of Kosovo, but it is primarily an issue of the wider relationships and more substantive issues between Kosovo and Serbia. As you rightly said in the beginning, Serbia does not recognize Kosovo, and I do not think it will ever recognize it. Therefore, I remain pessimistic with regards to the relations between Kosovo and Serbia improving. Neither of the parties is honest in these negotiations because they see pretty much they see no advantage of even resolving this issue. I could blame Serbia slightly more on this matter because Kosovo has no option other than to survive as an independent state since it declared itself as such. Therefore, it is on the part of Serbia to make amends to their policy, which I'm pessimistic about.
Okay, thank you so much for your analysis.
It was a pleasure.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.